Elon Musk is the wealthiest man and person in the world, a titan of technology, sex pest, meme advocate, and plays Wario on TV in addition to being Wario in real life. Wallace and Gromit are the stars of a series of Gromcoms where they use their homemade inventions to run a variety of small businesses in their small British community. Wallace is a love pest when it comes to cheese, constantly eating new varieties while dating new women. So, what do Wallace and Elon have in common? It's much more than you'd think. Not only are they both inventors with similar interests, they're both often given credit for their subordinates' inventions because people love to idolize a man over the dogs that work for him. But with all things considered, I want to know, who's the better inventor? Let's first establish that our contenders are package deals. Wallace and Gromit are one team, Elon and all his employees are the other. And Elonians, Muskmen, Muskrats, whatever you call yourselves, all I ask is that you hold your comments until the end, so I can prove to you that I have done my best to keep this competition fair and unbiased. Let's start with Elon Musk's Tesla, a groundbreaking electric vehicle with advanced features like autopilot, automatic air filtering of bioweapons, and a security sentry mode to catch teens kicking your stupid, ugly car. While not the first electric car, it was the first one to go over 200 miles in a single charge and the first to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds. Tesla's experimental autopilot feature has killed 15 people so far, according to TeslaDeaths.com. This is versus Wallace's car, which doesn't even have a kill count website, so advantage Elon. The only website Wallace's car does have is an Owners Club fan page for the real vehicle it's based on, and before you ask, yes, it has been updated to reflect the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, who I hope is up there watching this video right now. Wallace and Gromit's Austin A35, as used for pest control in Curse of the Were-Rabbit and bread delivery in A Matter of Loaf and Death, is not a car they invented, but it is one they've pimped. They added an auto start functionality to skip manual cranking, a de-mud ability, a lasso for catching giant beasts, they made the tape deck toast bread, and they added a Ready Player One style rig in the back for puppeteering a giant sexy rabbit to seduce monsters, complete with a wink pedal. Hard to say whether these top the more broadly applicable features of a Tesla, especially while still relying on fossil fuels, but they do have one more iconic road vehicle. Wallace and Gromit also utilize a bike with a sidecar for their window cleaning business in A Close Shave. Their pimping here is the sidecar's incredible ability to split off and turn into a plane with a mounted porridge turret. The implications for humanitarian efforts here are huge. Imagine doing a strafing run on a group of hungry orphans, blasting them with porridge from the skies. I mean, it'd be badass. So, in the motor vehicle department, that's a clear point for Wallace and Gromit.
Cheese!
Elon also owns Tesla Energy, which focuses on solar energy through proprietary means like the Tesla Solar Roof, a streamlined solar shingle system. Wallace, meanwhile, is focused on moon energy harnessed from lunar panels, which are impossible. The sunlight that reflects off the moon isn't nearly powerful enough to charge a panel, according to the loser scientists of our reality. Wallace made working lunar panels by hand in his basement, so that's a dub for Team Gromit.
Cheese!
Wallace uses these panels to power his even more impressive invention, the Mind Manipulation O-Matic, which is, of course, a competitor of Elon Musk's Neuralink. Neuralink is a company co-founded by Elon with the intent of creating a chip inserted into the brain that would solve paralysis and blindness among countless other applications. A noble goal. So far, they've proven that with the assistance of Neuralink, they can hear that a pig is thinking.
The beeps you're hearing are real-time signals from the Neuralink,
which of course inspired the name of his child. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, beep, beep. And they've had successful tests with monkeys controlling rudimentary games with their minds. It's impressive, but also something that had already been achieved 20 years earlier. So this one's hard to evaluate, as we haven't seen the more ambitious aspects of the idea executed yet. What we have seen executed are the monkeys they've been testing the chips on. Neuralink's statement on the matter pretty much boils down to, they look forward to the day where animals are no longer necessary for medical research, but until then, yeah, it's experimental brain surgery. Sometimes you just die. In Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Wallace invents the Mind Manipulation O-Matic, initially to extract unwanted thoughts and desires, but is later combined with his Bunvac 6000 to transfer veg-free mind waves to rabbits as a way to change their thought patterns so they're no longer interested in the town's veggies. And although it did cause the rabbits horrific mental distress, they all eventually got over it, and neither Wallace nor Gromit were forced to euthanize them. Neuralink is also developing a sewing machine-like device that implants microscopic threads into the brain as a way of installing this tech. Gromit gang, You already know where we're going with this one. In a close shave, Wallace unveils his Knit-O-Matic, also developed with some morally dubious animal research.
We've tested this on Gromit, haven't we, lad?
It's kind of a nightmare, I can't deny that. But I have no reason to doubt that if they miniaturized this machine and used it on human brains, that it wouldn't solve paralysis, blindness, rabies, bad breath, being stupid, sucking ass. What I've learned from Elon is I can just say stuff like that and you can't tell me that it won't happen someday. No clear winner here, but animal trauma gets the edge over animal death for your boy. Another point for Wallace and Gromit on the board.
Cheese.
Okay, let's throw Elon a bone. Probably his biggest achievements are under the umbrella of SpaceX, Elon's spacecraft manufacturing and satellite communications company, with the stated long-term goal of colonizing Mars. They were the first private company to launch and orbit a ship and to send humans to space, and the first company, period, to make an easily reusable spacecraft. At least they were the first if you don't count Wallace and Gromit's ship in A Grand Day Out in 1989. Wallace and Gromit designed and built a moon rocket with working artificial gravity in their basement in one night because they needed to get more cheese. Their experience there, pictured here, is actually exactly what Elon thinks colonizing Mars will be like. While unclear at the end of A Grand Day Out if the ship was able to return to Earth intact, we did finally catch a glimpse of it home safe in the much less popular educational miniseries Wallace and Gromit's World of Invention. I do my research, folks. These little details matter. Wallace and Gromit's spacecraft was first, and they conquered artificial gravity, which no one else has come close to doing, so I gotta give it to the dynamic duo here.
Cheese.
Elon, please hand in your bone I threw you earlier. Let's take a moment to look at some honorable mentions. Inventions from both parties that can't be compared directly to the other. Starting with Elon's humble early days, when he had nothing but the clothes on his back and the emeralds in his pockets. Zip 2, in case any of you have been living under a rock, was essentially an online yellow pages that included maps for how to get to the businesses. This was in the late 90s, so this was not mainstream technology yet, and this early version of it was partnered with local newspapers as a type of city guide. It has taken me all of these 20 years to realize that Zip 2 means you like zip to the place. I have an idea why Google Maps was what people understood a bit more and that kind of took off. They didn't call it Google Drive. Well, that's something else. Elon made $22 million off the sale to Compaq in 1999 and used it to co-found X.com, one of the first fully online federally insured banks. Some say they invented cash rewards for making a bank account, a feature that many suckers still fall for to this day. They merged with Confinity the next year, which had an early version of PayPal that later became the whole company's focus. Musk had remarkably little to do with that, having been cooed by his board to replace him as CEO a year before the company changed its identity to PayPal. But again, for the purposes of this video, and in the hearts of Elonians everywhere, he invented it. So was PayPal a good invention? No, sorry. I'm being unbiased. The closest Wallace and Gromit invention to a bank would be the vegetable lock boxes from Curse of the Were-Rabbit, where citizens can keep their prized veggies safe from pests. And along this line is their novel idea for catching the were-rabbit.
With a big trap.
Coincidentally, Elon Musk also has a big trap and he won't fucking close it. Get off Twitter, dude! That's my jurisdiction. Elon also invented that diver who helped save those kids in Thailand was a pedo guy, child rapist, although he did kindly give the credit for that one to someone who worked for him. I already talked about Wallace's Bunvac 6000, which was designed to suck bunnies up out of the ground, but it's worth noting it also seems to function as a small-scale anti-gravity chamber, further showing Wallace's mastery of gravity is beyond any scientist on Earth. But his most famous inventions might be his household morning alarm systems. Initially, a simple button press leading to a quick drop through the floor where he's dressed while an automated jam launcher snipes his toast, it eventually becomes a long automated journey through some impossible negative space of the house, with slides and flips that land him in his car and send him on his way to work. That morning routine machine even works on Rabbit Wallace, who happens to be the greatest thing that ever happened to cinema.
Oh, I do like a bit of gorgonzola.
Next up is the Hyperloop, but first I've got a clip from a new video you may have missed. It's my episode of Working Titles on Nebula, where I break down 10 years of Shark Tank title sequences to examine how the sharks are sold to us. The American TV show Shark Tank, which is based on the British series Dragon's Den, which is based on the Japanese series The Tigers of Money, which is a funny third thing I didn't even have to make up, is a long-running reality show where entrepreneurs seek an investment in their business from 5 shady oligarchs, or sharks. It's a full bonus essay that's part of my channel over there on on Nebula. And as you can see in this footage, it's a pretty good video. I haven't gotten around to finishing it yet, but I'm definitely gonna. All my videos over there are ad-free, and every one I've made since I joined has a few minutes of exclusive bloopers at the end, like this one. So far, they've proven that with the assistance of Neuralink, they can hear a pig thinking, but not what it's thinking, which is presumably, hey, where's all the slop around here? You can follow me on the Nebula app and be notified on your phone when new videos go up, usually a little ahead of the YouTube version because YouTube video processing is a big pain in my big ass. The best way to get access to Nebula is through our partnership with CuriosityStream, a separate documentary streaming service, and my link in the description will get you a year of both for under $15. If you're annoyed by how little research I did about Elon for this video, because let's be honest, I'm here for the Wallace and Gromit material, you could watch the episode Declaring Martian Law from their series Space Greed, which includes a breakdown of Elon's specific vision for making a Mars colony financially viable. Teaser? Pretty stupid. Not only does subscribing at curiositystream.com/LeoVader support me directly, but I get watch time revenue over on Nebula as well, plus they paid good money for my Shark Tank video. It's all very pro-creator. Especially me who's trying to procreate my left brain with my right brain to give birth to some killer content. So sub with my link in the description, check your email for the Nebula login, and you've got access for as long as you stay subbed to CuriosityStream. Can you say yummy? And again, if you're watching this on Nebula, you wouldn't have had to hear me say any of that vile stuff. Now onto the Boring Company, Elon's ironically quite cool tunnel construction outfit. His stated mission is to build a tunneling machine that can dig 10 times faster for a fraction of the cost of typical tunneling projects. This is to enable his end goal of creating hyperloops, tunnels with contained pods that can travel between city centers like LA and San Francisco at incredible speeds. The only loop the company has completed at the moment is that famous Las Vegas loop, the underground Tesla experience that's like if they made a Disney ride without all the little guys and of stuff. So not only is it bad, but it ended up taking about the same amount of time to build as other similar tunnels. Wondering how they messed that up, I found this enlightening quote from back in 2017. "We're just gonna figure out what it takes to improve tunneling speed by, I think, somewhere between 500 and 1,000%. We have no idea what we're doing. I want to be clear about that." I think the richest man on the planet? That should be someone who does know what they're doing. I researched this damn video more than he put thought into his fucking Hyperloop. And I didn't research it good at all. Meanwhile, Wallace and Gromit's train system, seen in the wrong trousers, runs on schedule throughout the day, and we see Gromit is able to build tracks for it quickly and efficiently. Plus, here's real footage of Wallace and Gromit's train easily outpacing Elon's Hyperloop. So I'm afraid that's an undeniable point for Wallace and Gromit.
Jeez.
All right, let's tally up the final score. Oh. Well, since Elon never won, I never got to play his sound effect. Here's that, in case you were wondering about it.
Jeez.
Gromit gang, please celebrate respectfully. Musk men, if you stuck with me this long, I'm sorry I forgot to be unbiased. I'm actually assuming all the Elon fans are gone at this point. They must be quite used to getting talked down to by sarcastic YouTubers. Should I have been nicer, met them where they're at? Should I tiptoe around every criticism to baby talk Elonians in the hopes that that's what it takes, that they can understand the failings of this guy if I seem nice about it? I sure don't have the patience for that. I think it's okay that I just wanted to shit on a rich dork and not break my back trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because the elephant in the room we haven't even gotten to yet is the workplace conditions. It seems like every Wikipedia page for one of Elon's companies has a novel for the controversies and lawsuits section. The toxic culture at Tesla and SpaceX, including the behavior of Elon himself, is as well documented and plentiful as the very dollars in Elon's bank account. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him unbiased. But in the interest of being fair, Wallace and Gromit's work-life balance is absolutely fucked. Every time they start a business, they operate it out of their house and work late into the night and early in the morning to make it work. And you know, that's not even mentioning Wallace testing his inventions on Gromit and trying to use a pair of NASA robot pants to avoid taking him on walks, making him do all the work while he flirts with a client repeatedly, using him as a table, letting a penguin move in and take his room. You know what? Wallace is pretty flawed too. Maybe there's a lesson here, that all our idols are destined to disappoint us, except Gromit. Gromit is a paragon of virtue. If Gromit never speaks, Gromit can never say something I don't like. Gromit will never let me down. We stan Gromit.